The knife slipped. Lena Carter cursed under her breath as blood bloomed across her fingertip, bright red against the pale dough she'd been shaping. She grabbed a towel, pressed hard, and kept her eyes on the security monitor mounted above the espresso machine. 3 cameras, all angles covered. The front door, the alley exit, the street corner where the bus stopped every morning at 6:15. 5 years of this, 5 years of watching, 5 years of never relaxing. "Mama, you're bleeding." Eli's voice came from the corner table, small and worried. He was 5 years old, dark-haired, with eyes that shifted between brown and hazel depending on the light. Her entire world concentrated in one fragile body. "I'm okay, baby. Keep coloring." She wrapped her finger tighter and returned to the croissants. Sugarline Cafe opened in 45 minutes, and she had 3 dozen pastries left to finish. The routine kept her sane. Wake at 4, bake until 7. Eli would eat breakfast at the corner table, then Renee would pick him up for kindergarten while Lena handled the morning rush. Every day the same. Safe meant predictable. Predictable meant invisible. The bell above the door chimed. Lena's head snapped up. They weren't open yet. The lock was still engaged. She'd checked it twice. A man stood in the doorway, tall and perfectly still, dressed in a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her monthly rent. Dark hair swept back from a face she'd spent 5 years trying to forget. Sharp cheekbones. Eyes that could freeze or burn depending on his mood. Right now they were doing both. "Hello, Lena." The spatula fell from her hand, clattering against the steel countertop. Her throat closed, her vision tunneled. This couldn't be happening. She'd been so careful. Changed her name, moved 3 times, stayed off social media, paid for everything in cash. Han Jae-min stepped inside and closed the door behind him with a quiet click. He moved like water, smooth and inevitable. His gaze swept the cafe, cataloging exits and sightlines the way he always did, then landed on the corner table. On Eli. The boy looked up from his coloring book, crayon paused mid-stroke. He stared at the stranger with the open curiosity of a child who'd never learned to fear well-dressed men in expensive suits. "Hi," Eli said. "We're not open yet. Mama says we open at 7. Jaemin's expression didn't change, but something flickered behind his eyes. He studied the boy for 3 seconds that felt like 3 years. Lena watched him do the math, the timing, the resemblance. "Eli, go to the back." Her voice came out hoarse. "Now." "But Mama." "Now." The sharpness made Eli flinch. He gathered his crayons with careful hands and disappeared through the kitchen door, glancing back once before the door swung shut. Silence filled the space between them. Jaemin hadn't moved, hadn't spoken. He just stared at the door where Eli had vanished, his jaw tight, his hands perfectly still at his sides. Lena knew those hands, knew how gentle they could be, knew what they were capable of when gentleness failed. 5 years. His voice was soft, too soft, the kind of soft that preceded violence. 5 years and you didn't think I deserved to know I had a son. You don't get to call him that. Lena stepped back, putting the counter between them. Her hand found the knife block. Not that it would matter. If Jae-min wanted her dead, a kitchen knife wouldn't save her. You don't get to walk in here and claim anything. I'm not claiming. I'm stating fact. He moved closer, each step deliberate. He has my eyes, my hair. He tilts his head the same way I do when he's thinking. Don't insult both of us by pretending otherwise. How did you find me? I never stopped looking. He reached the counter, placed both hands on the marble surface. No rings, no watch, nothing that could be traced or used as a weapon. Old habits. Did you really think I wouldn't? That I'd just let you disappear? You killed a man. The words erupted before she could stop them. I watched you put a bullet in his head without blinking. What was I supposed to do? Stay and hope you'd never look at me the same way? Something crossed his face. Surprise, maybe, or pain. It vanished before she could identify it. Is that what you think? He straightened slowly. That I would hurt you? I think you're dangerous. I think everything you touch dies or disappears. I think... Her voice cracked. 5 years of fear and anger and sleepless nights came flooding up her throat. I think I was stupid to ever believe you were anything else. You weren't stupid. His voice dropped lower, intimate in a way that made her chest ache. You were right. I am dangerous. I do hurt people. But I have never, not once, hurt someone who didn't try to hurt me first, and I would burn this entire city to ash before I'd let anyone touch you. Past tense. She forced herself to meet his eyes. You would have. 5 years ago. You don't get to decide that now, don't I? He moved around the counter. Lena backed up, but there was nowhere to go. The kitchen door was behind her. Eli was behind that door. She couldn't lead Jamin to their son, couldn't let him get closer. Marcus Vale knows about him. The word stopped her cold. Marcus Vale. She knew that name. Everyone in Jamin's world knew that name. Rival. Sociopath. The kind of man who bombed restaurants to make a point. You're lying. I have photographs. He pulled a phone from his pocket, tapped the screen, held it out. Taken yesterday. Outside the kindergarten, Lena's hand shook as she took the phone. The image showed Eli on the playground, laughing as he climbed the jungle gym. In the background, barely visible behind a parked car, a man with a camera. Professional. Patient. Hunting. No. The phone slipped from her fingers. Jamin caught it before it hit the ground. No. You're doing this to scare me, to make me... To make you what? Come back to me? His laugh was bitter. You made it clear that's not what you want. I'm here because Marcus thinks he's found my weakness. He's going to use Eli to get to me. And if you think you can stop him with door locks and security cameras, you're going to watch our son die. Our son. The possessive made her want to scream. He's not yours. You don't get to call him that just because... Because what? Biology? Jamin stepped closer, close enough that she could smell his cologne, expensive and cedar sharp. I've missed 5 years. 5 years of birthdays and first words and scraped knees. You took that from me, from him. And now we're both paying for it. I was protecting him. From me. Not a question, an accusation. You thought I was the danger. You thought I'd hurt my own child. I heard you. The confession burst out raw and jagged. That night. You and Jiwoo talking in your office. He said I was a liability, that I'd seen too much, that loose ends needed to be tied up. And you didn't disagree. You just sat there and nodded. Jamin went very still, the kind of still that meant his brain was moving too fast for his body to keep up. Jiwoo. He said the name like a curse. My former associate, who I executed 6 months after you disappeared for embezzling $3 million and selling intelligence to the Russian mob. Lena stared at him. He was lying to you, setting you up to run so he could cover his tracks. Jamin's voice was flat now, emotionless, the way it got when he was furious. And it worked. You disappeared. I tore the city apart looking for you, burned bridges, made enemies. All while Jiwoo laughed and moved money through shell companies I didn't know existed. I didn't know. Her voice was barely a whisper. No, you didn't. He turned away, ran a hand through his hair. The gesture was so familiar it hurt. You heard something that sounded like a threat and you made a choice. I can't blame you for that. But I can blame you for not giving me a chance to explain, for taking my son and teaching him that his father doesn't exist. I was pregnant and terrified. You were pregnant and you didn't trust me. He spun back, and for the first time she saw the pain underneath the anger. 5 years, Lena. He's 5 years old. I've missed everything. And now the first time I meet him, it's because a psychopath with a vendetta wants to use him as leverage. The kitchen door creaked. Eli peeked through, his small face worried. Mama? Are you okay? Jamin's entire body changed. The tension drained from his shoulders. His expression softened into something she'd never seen before. Tenderness, raw and unguarded. "I'm fine, baby." Lena forced a smile. This is an old friend. He's leaving soon." "Oh." Eli looked at Jae-min with renewed interest. "Do you like croissants? Mama makes the best croissants in Brooklyn. Everyone says so. I'm sure she does." Jae-min crouched, bringing himself to eye level. "What's your name?" "Eli Carter. I'm 5 3/4. "What's your name?" "My name is Jae-min." He glanced at Lena, a silent question in his eyes. She gave the smallest shake of her head. "Not now. Not like this." "It's nice to meet you, Eli. You talk funny." Eli giggled. "Are you from somewhere else?" "Korea. A long time ago." "That's so cool. My friend James says Korea has the best video games. Do you play video games?" "Not as much as I should." Jaemin's smile was genuine now, soft around the edges. "Maybe you could teach me sometime." "Really?" Eli's face lit up. "Mama never has time to play. She's always working. Then I'll have to make time." Jaemin stood, ruffled Eli's hair with a careful hand. The gesture was so natural it made Lena's throat tighten. "Go finish your coloring. Your mama and I need to talk about grown-up things." "Boring." Eli rolled his eyes but obeyed, retreating to the kitchen with his crayons clutched in both hands. When the door closed, Jae-min turned to her. The softness vanished. Business mode. The version of him that ran an empire and made men twice his size nervous. "You have 2 choices. You can let me protect you both, or you can keep pretending you're safe and watch Marcus take him." He pulled a card from his pocket, set it on the counter. "My number hasn't changed. Call me when you're ready to stop being stubborn and start being smart. I don't need your protection." "Yes, you do. You just don't want to admit it." He walked to the door, paused with his hand on the handle. "I'll have men watching the cafe, watching the school, watching your apartment. You won't see them, but they'll be there. If anything happens, if anyone approaches you or Eli, they'll handle it. Consider it a gift. I don't want your gifts. Then consider it penance." He opened the door. Morning light spilled across his face, harsh and unforgiving. "I can't change the past. I can't give back the 5 years you stole from me. But I can make damn sure our son lives to see his 6th birthday, whether you like it or not." He left. The door closed behind him with a gentle click. Lena stood frozen in the empty cafe, staring at the card on the counter. His name embossed in silver. A phone number. Nothing else. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. "What? Check your email." Renee's voice was shaking. "Lena, check your email right now." "Renee? What's wrong? Just check. Please." Lena pulled up her email with trembling fingers. The newest message had no subject line, just an attachment. She opened it. Her stomach dropped. The photo showed Renee's younger sister, Maya, tied to a chair in what looked like an empty warehouse. Blood on her face, terror in her eyes. The message below was 3 words. "We want Eli." The phone slipped from her hand. She barely registered Renee's voice calling her name. All she could see was Maya's face. Maya, who'd never hurt anyone. Maya, who'd just turned 23 last month and wanted to be a teacher. This was her fault. Her past catching up. Her choices coming home. She grabbed the card from the counter and dialed before she could talk herself out of it. Jae-min answered on the first ring. "They have Renee's sister." Her voice sounded distant, like it belonged to someone else. "They sent me a picture. They want Eli. Where are you?" "The cafe. Eli's still here." "Jae-min, they're going to kill her." "No, they're not. Stay there. Don't move. Don't call anyone. I'm 10 minutes away." The line went dead. Lena stood in her empty cafe with the morning sun streaming through the windows and her son humming in the kitchen and a stranger's blood on her conscience. She'd spent 5 years running. 5 years trying to keep Eli safe, and all she'd done was paint a target on everyone she loved. The door chimed again. She spun, expecting Jae-min. Instead, 3 men entered. Expensive suits, cold eyes, guns barely concealed under tailored jackets. Lena Carter? The one in front smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. We're going to need you to come with us. You and the boy. She stepped backward, her mind racing. The knife block was 3 feet away. The back door was locked from the outside. Eli was still in the kitchen, unaware. I'm not going anywhere. That wasn't a request. The man's smile widened. Marcus sent us to collect his insurance policy. You can walk out with us, or we can drag you. Either way, you're leaving. Mama? Eli's voice from the kitchen. Who's there? Everything slowed. The man's hand moving toward his jacket. Lena's fingers closing on a knife handle. The kitchen door starting to open. The front window exploded. Glass sprayed inward. The 3 men hit the ground. Lena grabbed Eli as he stumbled out of the kitchen and pulled him down behind the counter. Gunfire erupted, sharp cracks that made her ears ring. Then silence, footsteps, someone moving through the cafe. Lena held Eli tight, one hand over his mouth to muffle his terrified breathing. She couldn't see who was coming, couldn't tell if they were safe or about to die. Lena. Jae-min's voice, calm, like he just walked in for coffee. It's clear. Come out. She stood slowly, still holding Eli. The 3 men were on the ground, unmoving. Blood pooled beneath them. Jae-min stood in the center of the cafe with a gun in his hand, completely composed. Like he'd done this 1,000 times before, because he had. Take Eli upstairs. He didn't look at her. His attention was on the bodies, methodically checking each one. Lock the door. Don't come down until I tell you it's safe. What are you going to? Clean up your problem. He finally met her eyes. No anger, no judgment, just cold efficiency. This is what I do, Lena. This is what I've always done. The only difference is now I'm doing it for my family instead of my business. She wanted to argue. To tell him this wasn't the answer. That violence only bred more violence. But Maya was tied up in a warehouse somewhere. Eli was shaking in her arms, and 3 men had just tried to kidnap her son. Principles were luxuries she couldn't afford. Okay. She carried Eli toward the stairs. Jae-min, he glanced up. Thank you. Something flickered across his face. Relief, maybe. Or hope. It vanished as quickly as it appeared, replaced by the mask he wore when working. Don't thank me yet. This is just the beginning. She carried Eli upstairs to her apartment and locked every door and window while Jae-min made phone calls in Korean and men in black suits arrived to remove the bodies. Through the floor she could hear movement, efficient, professional, the sound of a machine that had been running for years, well-oiled and unstoppable. Eli cried himself to sleep in her arms. She held him and stared at the ceiling and tried not to think about what was happening in the cafe below. Tried not to think about the man she'd loved 5 years ago, and the monster she'd run from, and the protector who'd just saved their lives. 3 hours later, Jae-min knocked softly. She opened the door to find him cleaned up, the suit replaced with jeans and a black t-shirt. He looked younger this way, more like the man who'd stopped to help her on Mulholberry Drive. Is he asleep? Jae-min nodded toward Eli, curled on the couch with his favorite blanket. Finally. He's scared, but he doesn't really understand what happened. She stepped into the hallway, pulled the door almost closed behind her. Did you find Maya? My men are moving on the warehouse now. She'll be safe within the hour. He leaned against the wall, suddenly looking exhausted. Marcus is more cautious than I expected. He has safe houses I didn't know about. Resources I didn't anticipate. This is going to take time. How much time? Days, maybe weeks. Until then, you and Eli need to stay somewhere secure. I have a property upstate. Private, guarded. No one will find you there. I can't just leave. I have a business. Eli has school. You have a target on your back. His voice was gentle but firm. Your business doesn't matter if you're dead. Eli's education doesn't matter if he's in Marcus's basement. I need you to trust me, Lena. Just this once. Trust. The word felt like broken glass in her mouth. Why are you doing this? She searched his face for answers. You could walk away. Let Marcus have what he wants. Save yourself the trouble. Because he's my son. Jae-min said it simply, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. Because you were mine before you were scared of me. Because I spent 5 years wondering if you were alive, and now that I know you are, I'm not letting anyone take you from me again. I was never yours. Yes, you were. He pushed off the wall, stepped closer, close enough that she could feel the heat radiating off him. You were mine the moment you smiled at me on that highway. Mine when you let me take you to dinner. Mine when you woke up in my bed and looked at me like I was something more than what I'd always been. And you're still mine now, even if you hate me for it. I don't hate you. The confession slipped out. I hate what you are, what you do, the world you live in. I know. He reached up, brushed a strand of hair from her face. The touch was feather-light, careful. But that world is the only reason you're still breathing right now. So maybe you should hate it a little less. She didn't have an answer for that. Footsteps on the stairs. A man appeared, Asian, mid-30s, with a scar running from his eyebrow to his jaw. He nodded to Jae-min and spoke rapid Korean. Jae-min responded in the same language, his tone clipped and authoritative. The man bowed slightly and disappeared. That was Yoon. Maya's safe. Shaken up but unharmed. He's taking her to a hospital now. Jae-min pulled out his phone, showed her a photo. Maya in the back of a car, wrapped in a blanket, tears streaming down her face but alive. Marcus wanted leverage. He didn't want to burn bridges by actually hurting her. Yet, Jae-min agreed, which is why we're ending this now. Pack a bag, enough for a week. Bring whatever Eli needs to feel comfortable. We leave in 30 minutes. I need to talk to Renee. She's already been briefed. She knows you're safe. She knows Maya's safe. That's all she needs to know right now. He headed for the stairs, paused halfway down. Lena, I meant what I said. I would burn this city down before I let anything happen to either of you. You don't have to believe I'm a good man. You just have to believe I'm very, very good at protecting what's mine. He vanished down the stairs, leaving her alone in the dim hallway with her sleeping son and a choice that wasn't really a choice at all. She packed. The drive upstate took 3 hours. Eli woke halfway through, groggy and confused. Jae-min had arranged for a car seat, snacks, and a tablet loaded with cartoons. He sat in the front passenger seat and occasionally glanced back, watching Eli with an intensity that made Lena's chest ache. You're staring, she said quietly. I'm learning. He didn't look away from Eli, his expressions, his habits, the way he kicks his feet when he's happy. I have 5 years to catch up on. I'm not wasting a second. The safe house was more compound than cottage. 12-foot walls, security cameras, armed guards at the gate who nodded to Jae-min and waved them through without question. The main building was modern glass and steel, surrounded by woods that stretched for miles. You call this a safe house? Lena stared at the structure as they parked. I call it home. When I need to disappear. Jae-min got out, opened the back door, unbuckled Eli with practiced ease. The boy was asleep again, exhausted from crying and confusion. He's heavier than he looks. He eats like he's starving. Lena smiled despite everything. I can't keep him full. Growing boy. Jae-min carried Eli inside. The interior was warm, lived in, leather furniture, bookshelves, family photos that stopped Lena in her tracks. An older woman, kind eyes. Jae-min's smile. Your mother? Was. He set Eli on the couch with gentle hands. Cancer. 7 years ago. She would have loved him. Loved you probably. She always said I needed someone to yell at me. I'm sorry, don't be. She lived well, died peacefully, more than most people in my family can say. He straightened, rolled his shoulders. There are 3 bedrooms upstairs. Take whichever you want. The kitchen is stocked. Guards patrol every 2 hours. You're safe here. Where will you be? Hunting. The word was soft but deadly. Marcus made a mistake when he went after my family. I'm going to make sure he understands exactly how permanent mistakes can be. Jae-min. She caught his arm as he turned to leave. Don't die doing this. He's already lost 5 years with you. Don't make him lose the rest. He looked down at her hand on his arm, then up at her face. Something vulnerable flickered in his eyes. I'll come back. I always do. He covered her hand with his, squeezed once. Keep him safe. That's all I ask. He left. The door closed behind him. Lena stood alone in a stranger's house with her sleeping son and the ghost of a life she'd tried to forget. She carried Eli upstairs, tucked him into bed in a room with dinosaur wallpaper and glow-in-the-dark stars, sat beside him until his breathing evened out. Then she went to the window and stared at the dark woods and wondered when she'd stopped running from danger and started running toward it. Her phone buzzed. Jae-min, sleep. You're safe, I promise. She typed back without thinking. So are you. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again, working on it. She fell asleep with her phone in her hand and woke to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar windows. Eli was gone. Panic seized her chest until she heard laughter from downstairs. She found them in the kitchen, Jae-min at the stove, cooking what smelled like pancakes. Eli perched on the counter, chattering about dinosaurs and superheroes and everything 5-year-olds find fascinating. Jae-min listened like it was the most important conversation he'd ever had. Mama. Eli spotted her. Jae-min makes funny-shaped pancakes. Look, this one's a dragon. She looked. It was definitely not a dragon, more like a blob with a tail. But Eli was smiling, really smiling, the kind of smile he usually reserved for Christmas morning and ice cream cones. That's very impressive. She met Jae-min's eyes over Eli's head. Did you sleep? Some. He flipped a pancake, caught it perfectly. Yoon called. We have 3 of Marcus's lieutenants in custody. He's running out of friends fast. How long until this is over? Soon. Days, not weeks. He's making desperate moves. Desperate means stupid. Stupid means dead. He plated the pancakes, handed them to Eli. Go eat at the table. Let the grown-ups talk boring stuff. Eli scrambled down, pancakes clutched like treasure. When he was out of earshot, Jae-min turned to her. He asked about his father this morning. Lena's heart stopped. What did you say? I said his father loves him very much and is working very hard to keep him safe. I didn't tell him I was talking about myself. He poured coffee, handed her a mug. But I want to. When this is over, I want him to know who I am. He's 5. He won't understand. Then I'll wait until he's 6, or 10, or 20. But I'm not pretending to be a stranger in my son's life. Not anymore. His voice was quiet but absolute. You can hate me for the rest of your life, Lena. I'll accept that. But I won't accept being erased from his... I don't hate you. She said it again, meaning it more this time. I just don't know how to trust you. Then learn. He set his coffee down, took hers, set it aside too. Took both her hands in his. I'm not asking you to love me. I'm not asking you to forget what I am or what I've done. I'm just asking you to let me prove that I can be better. For him, for you, for us. There is no us. There could be. He squeezed her hands gently. If you'd stop running long enough to see what's right in front of you. Before she could respond, his phone rang. He answered in Korean, his expression shifting from soft to sharp in seconds. He spoke quickly, tersely. Hung up. That was Yoon. Marcus is moving. He knows where we are. How? Doesn't matter. He was already moving, grabbing keys, pulling a gun from a drawer. Get Eli. We're leaving. Now. I thought you said we were safe here. I was wrong. He handed her the gun. Do you remember how to use this? Jae-min, do you remember? His eyes bored into hers. Yes. She'd made him teach her, back when they were together. when she'd thought guns were something you learned about for self-defense, not survival. Good. Safety's off. Point and shoot. Don't hesitate. He headed for the stairs. I'll get Eli. You get the car started. Black Mercedes in the garage. Keys are in it. Go. She went. The garage was underground, climate-controlled. The Mercedes started with a purr. She pulled it to the exit, hands shaking on the wheel. Through the rearview mirror, she saw Jae-min emerge with Eli in his arms. The boy was crying, confused. Jae-min was murmuring something in Korean, his voice soothing even as his body radiated tension. He buckled Eli into the back seat, slid into the passenger side. Drive. Stay on the main road. Don't stop for anything. Where are we going? Away. He pulled out his phone, made calls, gave orders, built a fortress of words around them while Lena drove too fast on winding roads and tried not to think about what would happen if they didn't make it. Behind them, explosions rocked a safe house. Fire bloomed in the rearview mirror. Eli screamed. Jae-min twisted in his seat, grabbed the boy's hand. It's okay. It's just fireworks. Big, loud fireworks. Nothing's going to hurt you. I want Mama. Mama's right here. She's driving us somewhere fun. Somewhere with no loud noises. He kept his voice calm, steady. A lifeline in the chaos. Can you be brave for me? Can you be strong like a superhero? I'm not strong. Eli's voice was tiny, broken. I'm scared. Being scared is okay. Being scared means you're smart. Jae-min unbuckled, climbed into the back seat, pulled Eli into his lap. Your mama's scared too. And me, we're all scared. But we're together, and that makes us stronger. Understand? Eli nodded against his chest. Lena drove. The road blurred. Behind them, sirens wailed. Ahead, nothing but uncertainty. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. Hello? Lena Carter. The voice was smooth, cultured, evil wearing a pleasant mask. My name is Marcus Vale. I believe we have something to discuss. She nearly dropped the phone. Jae-min's hand shot out, steadied her grip. He leaned close, listening. I don't have anything to discuss with you. Oh, but you do. You see, you have something I want, and I have something you want. Your friend Renee, for instance. She's quite close to you, I understand. Closer than a sister. Ice flooded Lena's veins. If you touch her, I won't. Not if you give me what I want. Marcus's voice was pleasant, conversational. Bring me the boy, just the boy. Leave him at the address I'm about to text you. Walk away. And everyone you love gets to keep living. No. The word was automatic, visceral. Then they die. Renee. Her sister Maya, who I'm told just loves to dance. That sweet barista who works mornings at your cafe, what's his name? Tyler. He has a daughter, 8 years old. Bright future ahead of her. Unless you make the wrong choice. The line went dead. A text appeared. An address. A warehouse in Red Hook. Lena pulled over, shaking too hard to drive. Jae-min took the phone, read the message. His expression went blank. The mask he wore when making impossible choices. Don't even think about it. His voice was flat. He's bluffing. What if he's not? Then people die. But Eli isn't one of them. He pulled out his own phone, made another call. Yoon, I need locations on Renee Brooks and everyone in Lena's contact list. Now. Yes, all of them. I don't care how long it takes. He hung up, met her eyes. I'm going to end this. Tonight. But I need you to trust me. Can you do that? She looked at Eli, still crying softly in the back seat. Looked at Jae-min, calm in the storm. Looked at herself in the rearview mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back. Yes. Good. He climbed back into the front seat, buckled in. Drive to the city. I have a place Marcus doesn't know about. You and Eli will stay there while I handle this. Handle it how? The only way I know how. He checked his gun, chambered around. By reminding Marcus why people fear me. The apartment was in Tribeca, 20th floor, glass walls overlooking the Hudson. Jae-min swept every room, checked every lock, then sat Eli down on the couch. I need to go away for a little while, but I'll be back before you wake up. Can you be brave until then? Eli nodded, clutching his blanket. Are you going to fight the bad guys? Something like that. Will you win? Always. Jae-min smoothed Eli's hair back, the gesture achingly tender. Take care of your mama for me. He stood, crossed to Lena, cupped her face in both hands. No matter what happens tonight, I want you to know something. I loved you 5 years ago. I love you now, and I will love you until the day I die. Whether you believe it or not doesn't change the truth of it. Before she could respond, he kissed her, not gentle, not asking permission, claiming, promising, saying goodbye. Then he was gone. Lena locked the door behind him and sank to the floor. Eli curled up next to her, small and warm and alive. She held him while the sun set over the city and tried not to think about what Jae-min was doing in the dark. Her phone rang at midnight. Yoon's number. He's alive. Injured but alive. Marcus is dead. It's over. She let out a breath she'd been holding for hours. Where is he? Coming to you. 10 minutes. The line went dead. She waited by the window, Eli asleep on the couch behind her. Watched the street below until a black car pulled up. Jae-min got out slowly, favoring his left side, blood on his shirt, exhaustion in every line of his body. She had the door open before he reached it. You're hurt. I'm fine. He limped inside, let her close and lock the door. Knife wound. Shallow. I've had worse. Let me see. Lena, let me see. She pulled his shirt up, hissed at the gash across his ribs. This needs stitches. Later. First I need... He stumbled. She caught him, barely. He was heavier than he looked, all muscle and bone and stubborn will. First you need to sit before you fall. She guided him to the couch, carefully avoiding Eli's sleeping form. Stay here. I'll get the first aid kit. She found it in the bathroom. Returned to find Jae-min staring at Eli with an expression that broke something in her chest. Love. Pure and uncomplicated. The kind fathers were supposed to have, but so few did. She cleaned the wound in silence. He didn't flinch, didn't make a sound. When she finished, she sat back. Tell me, Marcus is dead. So are 3 of his top men. The rest scattered. Yoon's hunting them down now. He pulled his shirt back on, wincing. Your friends are safe. Renee, Maya, Tyler, everyone. I had my people watching them all night. Thank you. Don't thank me for protecting my family. He reached out, tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. The gesture was so familiar it made her chest ache. Lena, I meant what I said. I love you. I never stopped. And I know you don't feel the same way anymore, but I do. The words tumbled out before she could stop them. I still love you. I've loved you for 5 years, even when I hated myself for it. Even when I was terrified. Even when I ran. I love you and I don't know how to stop. He stared at her. Then he was kissing her again, careful of his injury, careful of the sleeping child 3 feet away, kissing her like she was oxygen and he'd been drowning. When they broke apart, he pressed his forehead to hers. I'm not asking you to come back to that life. I'm done with it. Done with the violence and the fear and the constant looking over my shoulder. I have a son now, a family, that's worth more than any empire. What will you do? I don't know yet. Something legal, something safe. Something where Eli doesn't have to grow up wondering if his father will come home. He pulled back, cupped her face. I'm asking you to give me a chance. To let me prove I can be the man you need. The father he deserves. I'm scared. So am I. He smiled, small and real. But I'm more scared of losing you again. So let's be scared together. She kissed him this time. Soft and slow and full of 5 years of fear and longing and hope she'd thought was dead. When they finally pulled apart, Eli was watching them with sleepy eyes. Are you kissing Mama? Jae-min didn't hesitate. Yes. Is that okay? I guess. Eli yawned, rubbed his eyes. Does this mean you're staying? If your mama will let me. Eli looked at Lena. Can he stay? Please. He makes good pancakes and he's not scared of anything. He can stay. She pulled Eli close, met Jaemin's eyes over his head. We're all staying. 3 months later, Lena opened a new cafe in Manhattan. Sugar Line 2. Bigger and brighter and filled with people who didn't know about the blood that had been spilled to keep it safe. Jaemin showed up every morning at 6, helped with the baking, and walked Eli to school at 8. He was different now. Softer around the edges. Still dangerous if pushed, but the violence was a last resort rather than a first response. He'd sold his interests in the darker parts of his business. Kept just enough to stay comfortable, but not enough to stay powerful. It turned out power was overrated when you had a son who thought you hung the moon. Renee watched them from behind the counter one morning, shook her head. I still can't believe you got back together with him. Neither can I. Lena smiled as Jaemin lifted Eli onto his shoulders, making the boy shriek with laughter. But here we are. You're happy. I'm terrified. But yes, I'm happy. She poured 2 coffees, handed one to Renee. He proposed last week. What? Renee nearly dropped her mug. And you're just telling me now? I'm still processing. Lena pulled a simple diamond ring from her pocket, slipped it on. I said yes. Of course you did. Renee hugged her, careful not to spill coffee. You love him. You've always loved him. Fear just got in the way. Fear kept us alive, and love brought you back. Renee pulled back, grinned. When's the wedding? Soon. Small. Just family. Nothing fancy. Boring. But okay. Renee glanced at Jaemin, who was tickling Eli until the boy could barely breathe from laughing. He's good with him. He's a natural. Makes up for lost time every chance he gets. Lena watched them, her chest full of something that felt like peace. We're going to be okay, all of us. Yeah. Renee squeezed her hand. You are... That night, after Eli was asleep and the cafe was closed, Lena found Jaemin on the apartment balcony staring at the city lights, thinking about the past. She slipped her arms around his waist from behind, thinking about the future. He covered her hands with his, wondering if we'll have more kids, if Eli will like being a big brother, if I'll be a good enough father to deserve all this. You already are. She pressed her cheek to his back. You saved us. You gave up everything for us. I didn't give up anything that mattered. He turned, pulled her close. Everything that matters is right here. She tilted her face up, kissed him slowly. 5 years of fear and running and second-guessing melted away. This was right. This was home. This was worth every risk she'd ever taken. I love you. She said it against his lips. I should have said it 5 years ago. Should have trusted you. Should have stayed. You were protecting our son. I can't fault you for that. He rested his forehead against hers. We're here now. That's what matters. Together. Together. He kissed her again, and in that kiss was a promise, a future, a family built from ashes and blood and love that refused to die. Some loves don't die when you run from them. They wait, patient and stubborn, until you're brave enough to stop running and turn around, until you realize that fear is just love in disguise, and the only thing more terrifying than staying is spending the rest of your life wondering what if. Lena had run for 5 years, but she was done running now. She was finally, after everything, home. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel for more emotional short films and hit the like button. Leave a comment and tell us what you think should happen next in their lives. Your support helps us create more content like this. Thank you for watching.